XIII-2. The story so far, Kubo.
Kubo! We have to figure out the labyrinth.
You'll be sure to arrive in the future you want. This must be the eclipse.
You know what this is?
Hi, this is Matt with abnormalmapping.com. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII-2. We could go to the Sunleth Waterscape, or we could go to 10X Yasha's Massif. I think we're gonna go here.
The summit of Yasha's stands
I'm
the
curious.
ruins of the fal'Cie city, Padra. This was the capital of a flourishing civilization, storied in the annals of Grand Pulse. Here, the young Hope Estime is leading the academy in an effort
Serious
to learn
Oracle
more
Drive.
about the mysterious.
Wait, things have changed. That's all they're gonna tell me. I'm very curious what this timeline is wrought. Loading. Place better be ridiculous. Oh, okay.
Eclipse is over. Or it never existed in the first place.
That sounds more likely to me.
Changed.
If the paradox didn't happen, then maybe Hope never had any reason to come here.
There's still the Oracle Drive. Maybe that would have been enough of a draw for him. Only one way to find out.
Okay. We got a gate seal. Let's keep going up. See what we'll find. Very tall
The
path.
fal'Cie that caused the eclipse. What was it looking for up in the sky?
I want to go that way. Okay, it looks like the
Future, maybe?
treasure's already
Who
taken.
knows?
Let's go main gate. I think we can go back there and get the our enemies get rare. I think we can go back there and get the treasures that we guarded by the behemoth in 10 proper, but we'll go do that in a bit. Right now, let's just kill these guys. I can't tell if they're harder because I'm bad at telling how this game's going. Ever, really. They don't seem too bad. Harder than, maybe a little harder than the other place, so clearly there's a linear curve of difficulty as we go further right, I assume.
Good work, everyone!
On the timeline? I don't really know. Like, I could be totally talking out my butt. Wouldn't be the first time. Would not be the first time. Oh yeah, this place looks like shit. I feel like maybe I should start talking about old Final Fantasies again, but realistically, this game has so many beats that I just don't know how they'll fit in here. Like, it seems like I run into a story thing every 30 seconds.
How did you...
Yule. Did you come through the gate too?
The one you met was a different Yule. A Yule from the future.
What?
So, you don't know me either.
I know about you. I've been watching you both.
You can see the future, can't you?
I can trace the timeline. I see the future and lead others along the correct path. I came here to confirm something I already know. You and I are the same.
What do you mean?
You, too, can show others the way.
Wait. I don't get it. How are we the same?
Visions of the future, clearly. It's not that hard to figure out, Serah. Don't play dense.
It looks like you...
No.
Okay,
Yeah, it was just...
don't care. That's called Caius.
I wonder if Caius is somewhere around too. Like he was back in Erba.
If he does show up again, it's going to be trouble.
Uh-huh. Next time, I don't think he'll be so quick to let us go.
Yeah. Fingers crossed there is no next time.
But yeah, I don't even remember
journeyed
what...
through
God,
time,
look at this. See, this is why I can't do any of
solved
this.
the paradox, and met two girls who looked exactly the same. And now, at last, we found our way back to Hope's Oracle Drive. He'll be waiting for us. Or perhaps he won't. Maybe after all this time, Hope has forgotten us.
I just don't know. Like, I guess I could talk about early Final Fantasies. I don't even remember which ones I ended up talking
I
about.
was afraid of what would happen if no one was here.
I guess the ruins were interesting
I just
enough.
feel
They
so
didn't need the
conflicted about
paradox
this
to draw
entire
here.
mess.
I'm with you again. I've been here for.
I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. But I don't know, like, would anyone care to hear about old Final Fantasy? Nobody watches these, I don't even know why I'm asking. And I record them so far in advance, it wouldn't be helpful
Did I miss
anyway.
something?
I feel like I've woken from a long dream.
You probably don't have what I want, but let's check.
The sun feels so amazing. Oh, chocobo can leave.
Great. No. Yeah, it's all the same.
Thank you for shopping here.
I've
on
been
this
playing
bright
Atelier
and sunny
Rorona
day.
Plus, which
I think it's time to hit the beat.
is like such a traditional RPG,
Work is going very
but
smoothly.
in like this management way that
He's being a good little
I'm very
dog.
conflicted about. I enjoy the game, but it's not the kind of RPG I typically take to. I much prefer something with a more linear, story-focused beat. We're going to play Final Fantasy VIII soon, and I've already talked about 8, but very much looking forward to that. Really, I just want to play some old school RPGs like a Dragon Quest or something. It's a pity that 3DS Dragon Quest remake, as of now, and probably forever, will never
I
come
feel
out
like
in this,
Dogs
in
make
the
much
US.
better pets than cats.
which is a shame, because I'd love to play it.
Some people can be so.
Dragon Quest is one of those franchises I only got into with this with DS releases, but I adore them. They're great. It's a really incredible series, and I'm sad that they seem so unpopular in the US.
I think they'll be here soon.
In a world where the paradox was solved, the eclipse never darkened the sky in the first place. No one remembered that Noel and I had been here. But even so, Hope was there, waiting for us. Of course, his memories had changed. We had our 10-year reunion all over again, as if our last meeting had never happened. When we explained his memories had changed because the paradox had been dissolved, Hope believed us without question. And then...
I have something I want to show you.
It is lightning!
This is a recording of the future. We're unable to identify the location or circumstances. There is one thing we're sure about, however. And remember, we don't know what era this is. Lightning is alive in that place. In my memory, Lightning disappeared after the battle with Orphan. But she's living somewhere in the future.
So it's not just a dream, is it?
She's out there.
Then I'm going to find her.
Koopa Koopa?
And you will find her, Serah. After all, you traveled through time and found me. Many years of research have finally borne fruit. It all began with the Oracle Drive. We excavated it from ruins many centuries old. Yet it recorded an image of Cocoon, supported on a pillar of crystal. It was an impossibility, an enigma. Impossible, but a reality nonetheless. This is when I learned what I must do.
Koopa?
If it was possible to journey through time and look into the future, then it must also be possible to travel backwards and change the past.
Right.
I wanted to change history, make things better, not just bring Lightning back, but Vanille, and Fang, and my mother.
So that's what your research was about.
Koopa?
Chasing the impossible, you might say. But You've made me realize something. It's clear to me now we are not the only ones who are intervening in history.
Oh?
The past has already been changed. Serah, you are the only one who remembers a time when lightning survived the fall of Cocoon.
Yeah.
Director!
What happened? Did the prophecy get rewritten?
Not necessarily rewritten. It could be the original prophecy restored as it once was. Perhaps a continuation of the first recording.
If this is showing us the future, then someday Cocoon will fall. Noel, you told me in your time Cocoon didn't exist like it does now.
Yeah. It came to ground long before I was born. After it happened, the whole world just fell apart pretty much.
But who made it fall? Could it have been Caius?
No. He couldn't do that.
When is Cocoon supposed to fall? How many years? Is it soon?
No. Not for a couple of centuries.
Oh, that's a long time from now. I mean, none of us will even be alive to see it.
But others will. Cocoon will fall into Grand Pulse. Imagine the catastrophe. Think how many lives will be destroyed.
Right. That's the future I lived in.
It doesn't have to happen. No, we can change the future. We can stop Cocoon from falling and make your world a better place.
Yeah, but how? You think you can go to the time when it falls and hold it up yourselves? Do you even have a gate to take you there?
Well,
It might not be necessary to travel to the specific time and place.
How so?
The future depends on what we do now, right? Yes, there is a chance Cocoon will fall, but we can start working now to prevent it from happening.
Right.
But what if you can't, Hope?
We can at least work to mitigate the damage. If we begin our research now, we have time. Then, should Cocoon indeed fall, we can help protect the planet and save the victims.
Okay, let's do it. We could try to solve things at the other end, in the future. While you start preparing in the here and now.
Yes, let's change the future.
If you change the future...
If you change the future, you change the past.
Serah?
It's nothing. Hope, thank you for the help.
Time will separate us, but we'll share a common goal.
Hope dreamed of changing the past. The weight of history drove him forward. But now, he's turning to face the future. A future even more frightening than the past. Serah, do you believe too? Do you believe in your own past?
Well, this place is kind of a mess. This time travel stuff is the worst.
Lightning was fighting in Valhalla.
I see.
I think lightning, maybe.
Okay.
That's why...
She was unable to do anything on her own. Yes, it is possible.
Okay.
Listen, Hope. What are we supposed to do if we want to save the future?
The space-time is twisted and must be straightened. Find the largest paradox and resolve the contradictions. Tell me, Noel, looking back from the future, what was the most dramatic event in history?
The fall of Cocoon, no question. Wait. Do you think someone created a paradox to make that happen?
Assuming such a thing is possible, then yes, maybe. Again, hypothetically speaking, I wonder if the man that Lightning was fighting is involved.
If he is, we're in big trouble.
I shall try to avert the tragedy. Then, just maybe, you will have homes you can return to.
Point. Noted. This path is open?
No. You know, I started this journey hoping to find my sister. But now, I want more. save the future.
So do I, Serah. So do I. Time to travel again.
Find the gate and the key, Kupo.
Okay, so we're going this way.
Right now, we don't have a clue where the artifact might be.
The director came by earlier. The area where they found the Oracle Drive is
Okay, cool.
Various records of magic. There was a spell to summon Eidolons. It was a forbidden art. The people of the past
Okay,
must have lived.
right. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Well, looks like we got a checkpoint coming up, so maybe not. Yeah, I just don't know with the way this game is built, if that's going to be possible.
Relics have been detected.
Okay, important relics, blah, blah, blah.
Show me the kill, Kupo.
Oh, right.
Come on, Mom.
Do your magic. A bunch of gil. Not really what I was looking for. I was expecting something,
Things are as
else.
peaceful as ever.
If a paradox, I wonder if it'll be like nothing.
Go, Mom.
What about this thing right here? Hello. Okay, found an artifact.
Right then. Where's the gate that fits this key?
I don't sense anything strange within the ruins. I did feel a disturbance.
We get to go back. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I just don't know about talking about other games fitting into the framework of how this game works. If that convoluted mess makes sense. I'd really like to, I just don't know. We could yammer on about Final Fantasy 1. What is there even to say about Final Fantasy 1 at this point? If you've never played the NES version, don't. Because if you didn't grow up with it, it's impossible to play. I mean, straight up. I originally played through that game in the Dawn Souls version for Game Boy Advance, which was dirt easy version of that game, to be fair. I'll fully admit that, but it's fun in that way, kinda. I mean, the framework of choosing a party and all that is cool. I understand why it was popular and important, but realistically, like, a game like that is so impossible to, like, parse in a modern way outside of a curiosity. Like, you know, go on a quest, you fight Garland. The time travel stuff is really cool at the very end, but the original version, it's incredibly rudimentary, and even in Dawn of Souls, like, the lack of an actual overarching story past, you know, Garland and Chaos, and that being like 5 minutes of actual story, there's just not a whole lot there. I suppose that's fine. I don't know. I just don't know what to think, really, when it comes to things like that. My general reaction to NES era games is if you weren't there, it's really hard to go back, especially for something like an RPG. There are games that have survived that kind of time. Like, Mario's still playable. You know, you're always going to want to play or be able to play something like Balloon Fight or something, you know? Like, those are timeless games, but realistically, most games just haven't aged in a way that is, like, particularly playable. And that's kind of a shame, but deep down you just kind of gotta let it go. Like, there's remakes of Final Fantasy that make it more playable, but the framework is still what it is. You know, as long as you know enough to know that there's Garland and the 4 crystals and Chaos at the end, you know enough to get the gist of Final Fantasy 1. Backwards talking brooms, maybe that's a thing to note. But you get the gist without ever having to actually play it. And I feel that way about a lot of games of that vintage. Like, on some level, you just have to know when to cut your losses, right? And I know that's kind of blasphemous for someone who actually does value playing historical games. But in the framework of something like an RPG, so much of it is about the storytelling in a game like that, when, like, the actual grind of here are the enemies and blah blah blah, whatever, can be, like, you can get that anywhere. So what you're coming to in specific, like, classical RPGs is something that does it exceptionally well, or only as, like, a curiosity. And I don't think Final Fantasy 1 does anything well, like, looking backwards. It's only in historical context, and that's a lot of caveats to go and play a game. You know, play 1 in, like, whatever remake version you want, but deep down, I just don't think it's a game like, no one says, oh, 1's a game everybody should play. I think it's worth being familiar with its look and its import and, like, kind of what it's about, but not much past that. I want to get this Gandiakis, whatever this dude is. I bet he's a commando, though, and I'll never use him. Yep. Sure is. Bummer. You have as many hit points as him, though. Well, that's a saboteur. That's cool. I'm not gonna go with enemies for saboteurs, though. Customize? No. Monsters. Adornments. Let's see. I don't like any of these really, so we'll just go without. Sorry, got distracted. So yeah, I guess that's really my opinion of Final Fantasy 1. Not very interesting, I guess, but man, it's so hard to recommend a game of that age. Like, I try to get, you know, Abnormal Mapping is me and Jackson. I try to get Jackson to play other games, and I could just never see recommending a game like that. Like, what is there to gain out of playing Final Fantasy 1? Nothing. And it's so hard because for him, someone who, like, the Xbox was his defining console, like, it's even hard to say, like, the Super Nintendo game has a lot of meaning and import and we should play that. Like, the way you age out of games is really remarkable because it happens so rapidly, and it's a big bummer. And I don't know how to fix it really, other than, like, learning to... Oh, Gahongas. I bet that guy's sorry. I'm trying to get a new... I'd really like a new guy. A Ravager. Oh, he's a Synergist. That's neat. I'm not going to use it, though. I really just want a new Ravager, a new Medic. That's all I'm looking for here. Oh yeah, this is definitely the area. Cool. But I just don't know. Like, I don't know how to parse the historical context of games where, like, if something's old enough, it's just not playable. And Final Fantasy falls into that. And I don't even feel bad about Final Fantasy, but there's so many other games that also fall into that. But you end up not really knowing how to, like, deal with it. At least I don't. Maybe that's just unique to me, I don't know. But that, I guess that's my conflicted feelings about Final Fantasy 1. It's a mess. I mean, it's not a game I'd recommend anybody. That Dawn of Souls version's nice. It's fun, it's super easy. You just kind of stomp your way through it. If you ever want an RPG that just makes you feel like a total lord, that is a game to do it with, because you will feel like a lord.
That wasn't even a warm-up.
I mean, I don't know, it wasn't that easy. I wouldn't start bragging about it and shit. Come on. A lot of mana slivers. I'll go get this chest too. You see something? Well, let's go get this guy. For sure.
Good boy.
Oh yeah, we're doing fine here. Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe we're not strong enough, but no, we're wrecking these fools real fast. I really do want a better medic, though, that's for sure. If I could get one relative quickness, that'd be nice. Something with a better skill set. Oh, we should also try going up there where that lady is. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted here. Yeah, NES games. I grew up with the NES, like it's my first console, but I still think it's of an vintage where it's just hard to suggest in that way. Like most games just aren't playable, and that's kind of a bummer. But I guess that's just kind of progress, right? And maybe it's our fault as players when we don't value historical game playing. At least I don't know. Like I try to play a lot of things, but even I'm not like an expert at it. Historical game playing is not something that's taught. It's not like a valued skill in our culture. Even if people go, oh, you haven't played that, well, that's your fault, and blah blah blah, whatever. But it's only about the games they grew up with. Like, I'm not like, oh, you never played Adventure for the Atari, because I never played Adventure for the Atari. I never had an Atari. I don't even know if I've ever actually used a real 2600 before. Just the vintage of when I started playing video games. When you get to things like that, it's so hard to feel out where the right stance is. Because you don't just want to say all those games are garbage and throw them on fire. That doesn't help anybody. We almost didn't make that. So instead you're left like saying, well, in a world where... Oh, I thought this guy was a Ravager and a Synergist. No wonder we've been getting buffed. I don't mind that, really, but it's weird. Let's go to diversity. And, normal mapping has gone out of its way to try to close some gaps. Like, I subjected Jackson to Link to the Past. We both subject ourselves to Doom and Twin Peak Torment. Those both went really well. Part of this is about, filling in our gaps and getting a better sense of games historically. It's just a problem when you want to play new games and, be involved in that scene too, and games are just so all over the place that... I don't know, games are a weird hobby. They demand so much, and I think they give so little for that time, that it's hard to just say, oh, I should play all the games, because really, what do I get out of that, as a person? Do I actually learn a lot, or do I just have a lot of, operable video game skill? And I'm afraid the answer to that is, actually something really depressing. But I don't really know what to do with my belief in that.
Is that it?
Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. We're gonna switch back to, my Ravager, because, come on. He's cute. Having a Synergist is neat, but not really necessary. Let's just go to the gate. I think we're probably done today. I've just been a real bummer about video games. Open the gate? Yeah. Oh, okay. 300, huh? Well, that's it, I guess. Sorry for having such a disjointed game, today, but I just am feeling real weird. Tomorrow we'll go to this Augusta Tower. It looks awesome, and then maybe we'll finally get over here eventually. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Matthew Marco with abnormalmapping.com. Check us out there on iTunes. Just search Abnormal Mapping. We're a podcast about video games. And come back next time for more Final Fantasy XIII-2. Thanks.